The No Fade channel, checking in. On this episode of Dad's Home Gym, I am reviewing from bellsofsteel.us the Bells of Steel Plyo Box, and I'm going to go over how to properly assemble it. I'm going to go over the cost, the design, my personal experience using this over the past 3 weeks, what a plyo box is good for, and then finally, if you should actually think about making your own plyo box. If this is your first time to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. On this Dad's Home Gym series, I review a piece of home gym equipment to help you decide if it's something that's going to benefit your home gym, if it's something you're actually going to use, and most importantly, if it's going to be worth your hard-earned money. So this plyo box is a 20 by 24 by 30 plyo box, meaning that you can rotate it in order to get 3 different heights, making it a very multifaceted tool in your home gym. And when you have a home gym, keep in mind space is usually the number one issue that most people find over the long haul. So having one piece of equipment that actually can do 3 different heights is good to have. This comes from bellsofsteel.us. They have been in business since 2010, so they're not a fly-by-night company, which is always nice. This costs $140 shipped, which is, again, something you do need to take into account is that shipping cost. We know UPS, a lot of other postal services, FedEx, are raising their shipping rates, especially for the heavier items. And let's talk about assembling. You get a piece of home gym equipment, it shows up in a box, a fairly flat box, and you want to just dive right in, and you need to slow down just a little bit. You want to make sure that you're assembling this correctly. So number one thing I would tell you to do is read the instructions twice. They're fairly short, so it's not going to take you that long. The second thing I'm going to tell you to do is to watch this video, because I'm going to go through some of the smaller things that you might miss if you just start putting it together. The third thing you're going to want to do is take everything out of the box and arrange it as it's supposed to be set up. As you can see, you want to make sure that you have the outside lined up. You have the 224s, the 230s lined up. Everything should be lined up perfectly before you even do anything. The next thing you'll want to do is to make sure that you have wood glue. It doesn't come with the box. Obviously, it's not that expensive. You can pick it up anywhere. When you put this together, you want to make sure that you're using wood glue on some of these seams in order just to get a nicer contact at the end of the day. When this thing's all said and done and put together, you want it to be as sturdy as possible, and that wood glue is going to be going the extra mile. Doesn't cost a lot, but you're going to be thankful that you put the time in up front to glue this thing together. The other thing you're going to want to put together probably first is the center piece. So inside here is a center 3-dimensional piece that can only be assembled one way, can only go inside the box one way, and it's basically the backbone of this box. It prevents any type of sag when you're jumping on the box, stepping on the box, whether it's with just your own personal body weight or with additional weight, and you want to make sure you assemble that correctly. Again, using wood glue and then making sure you screw that in once it's all said and done. So you have all your pieces lined up, you have glued and screwed the internal piece, then what you're going to want to do is to start assembling your side pieces. Now, before you put the final piece on top, of course, you're going to want to put that center piece down here in the center. It can only fit one way, so take your time, do it right, make sure it fits. Once that center piece is on, before you close this box up, you're actually going to want to screw in. You're going to want to screw in that center piece. Now here, I've screwed it in 3 different spots. I've screwed it in here on the side, and I've screwed it in here as well. And what that's going to do, even though that centerpiece fits super snug when you put it in, it's going to keep that centerpiece from moving slightly when you're jumping on this thing, stepping on this thing, moving it around, beating it up. And I think putting those extra screws in 2 or even 3 spots is going to really have this thing lasting a long, long time. The final step being obviously to glue and screw down the final piece of this box puzzle. Now I want to quickly go over some of the pros with regards to this Bells of Steel Plyo Box, something that I think just happens to stand out and something that you might want to take note of. First and foremost, the big standout is this non-slip surface. Each one of these surfaces is a non-slip surface. It's a little rough on the hands, and what that does is prevent you from slipping off. Now, obviously, when we think of a plyo box, we don't necessarily think that we're going to slip off of the thing, but once you're using it enough, once you beat it up enough, once you've sweated on it enough, or if you're just tired enough, you want to have as much traction at the top as possible. And frankly, having this non-slip surface is key. If it saves you or prevents you from falling off or slipping once, it's going to pay for itself. One of the things that I think is a big standout on this box. The other thing on this box that is a standout to me are the handles. Typically with your standard plyo boxes, you get one handle on each side here at the top. This actually comes with 4 handles on one side and 4 handles on the other, really making it easier to move and to rotate and to adjust. And I happen to think that's important with the home gym because more so than a local gym, your home gym, you're moving stuff around, trying to get stuff into place, put it away, because obviously, as I mentioned, space does tend to be an issue. So having nicer handles on here is ideal. The final design feature I want to point out are these corners. On all 8 of these corners, the corners are cut out. You can see me kind of put my hand in here. I don't necessarily know if there's a rhyme or reason for it other than maybe saving on shipping weight when they ship this thing. I will say it does not impact the structural integrity of the actual box. This thing is super beefy and super durable, especially when you follow my instructions. Overall, I don't see a benefit to it, but I also don't see a detraction to it. They just kind of are there. I am a huge fan of functional training. I think it is a great way to get the biggest return on your time investment when it comes to working out. And probably one of the core pieces of your functional training is a plyo box in order to do box jumps, or in my case, down here in my home gym, I will do one-legged step-ups with weight. And I can't say enough good things about it. I will also do one-legged lunges using this as a brace for my back foot. I happen to think these are really versatile, and they tend to not take up much space, but they tend to add a lot of value to your home gym, especially if you are going to be doing those functional training, if you're into CrossFit style workouts or WODs, or even just circuit training in general. So let's talk about whether you should make your own plyo box. If you go on the Google, on the interwebs, you're going to find designs for your own plyo box that you can make. I'm going to tell you not to do it. Why? Why would I tell you not to make your own plyo box? Simple. It's not worth your money and it's not worth your time. Let's assume for a second that you're really good at woodworking. You're going to spend as much money on wood alone to make this box up, okay? The odds are you're not going to be that good at woodworking and the box isn't going to come out nearly as good. You're going to spend more money on wood than you thought, and then the time investment to build this box or the equivalent version of this box is going to really cut into your lifestyle. I mean, you're going to spend hours and hours on something that you could have just had delivered to your home. And odds are as well, when you do finally get that product finished, you're not going to have this nice rough surface that's going to allow you to not slip when you're actually using it. I know a lot of people, they see these cool Pinterest or Instagram photos of homemade gym equipment, and unfortunately, they don't realize the amount of time and the amount of experience that goes into building those, and they just never turn out the way it seems. I have gone down the rabbit hole of trying to make my own home gym equipment, and very few pieces, let's be honest, only one piece has ever matched my expectations. Overall, this Bells of Steel Plyo Box has great value, good versatility, nice, strong, sturdy design, and this thing is built to last. As far as plyo boxes go, you're going to get your money's worth, and if you're interested, head over to bellsofsteel.us. I'll put everything in the description of this video, and hopefully you'll get a ton of use out of it, and hopefully you'll get in crazy good shape from jumping on a box and jumping off of it. If you've come this far in the video and have any questions, please drop it in the comments below. Also, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button while you're at it. As usual, thank you for watching, and don't save anything for the trip. This channel is dedicated to my life as a father of 2 wonderful children, and it centers around health, fitness, and all of the tricks and tribulations that I go through to try to be a great parent to my children and still accomplish my own personal goals.